Welcome back. This tutorial is on simulation exercises. Simulation exercises offer the organization to walk through various scenarios and understand the issues that would arise if such a situation ever arises in real life. The advantage of a simulation exercise is that an organization can be proactive and think of all the various nuances that it would need to address in case of a real disaster. And the other advantage is that the organization did not or maybe could not exercise such a simulation, unlike a disaster recovery test of an IT system. This simulation exercise is based on a consulting assignment that we did for one of our clients, and this is for the HR department. A simulation exercise is based on a worst case scenario, and the objective is to ensure that all possible situations are thought of. In real life, the situations could be much more simpler and easier. This exercise is for the HR department of ABC organizations. The scenario is that a hurricane hits the ABC building, destroying the capability to operate from there. This building houses the data center, which provides the IT services for the organization. The warm site or the alternate location is at MNO Philadelphia, and the secondary location is XYZ. Our simulation exercise starts. At 10:30 p.m. we will build a timeline, and hurricane hits the building. The incident is escalated through the channels, and the crisis management team is called on the spot. 12 hours later, after an initial damage assessment has been conducted, the crisis management team decides to declare a disaster. The call tree is activated, and the DR team is asked to proceed to the alternate site, that is also the warm site. Some members are asked to report to the secondary work location, and others are asked to stay at home. Some of the people have been asked to be on a standby. The standby is after hours and for the weekends. The question that the HR department representatives need to answer is, are there any special provisions for standby pay and night differential which would be applicable during disaster situations? During a simulation exercise, it may happen that the department representatives may not have the answers. The whole point is to create a sense of awareness among the representatives so that they have the answers ready. Some of the employees were asked to stay at home. Question: what is the policy with regard to the administrative leave during a disaster? In this case, the employees are not staying at home voluntarily. They have been asked to. So what kind of leave? The DR team has left for the alternate site at 11:30 a.m. This is a hazardous condition. Question is, are there any special provisions for a temporary hazard pay which would be applicable during disaster situations? It's 12:30 a.m. and a member of the DR team who was supposed to be at the warm site calls in and refuses to move, citing reasons. It could be that he is a single parent, or he has dependent aged parents, or he has pets to look after. Question: can this individual be faulted if he was a resource and his absence is going to affect the recovery operations? If so, what kind of action can be taken against the individual? And if the individual cannot be faulted, then what is the procedure in place for handling of the issues, so that it doesn't happen that everyone finds an excuse to not go to the alternate site? It's 2:30 p.m. Our DR team is en route, and one of the car meets with an accident. There were 3 employees in that car. Question: is this a workers' compensation issue, since they were officially on duty? One of the employees is a contractor. So what are the issues related to a contractor on an official assignment meeting with an accident? As I mentioned earlier, the representatives undergoing the simulation exercise may not have all the answers. Hence, typically what we have is we run them through this exercise, we give them time to prepare the answers, and a few weeks later we take them through this exercise again. It's 5:30 p.m. A group of volunteers show up to assist in cleanup efforts. Due to the hurricane, a part of the building was destroyed and there are documents out in open. There is debris scattered, and a group of volunteers has shown up. Question: would it be required to verify the I-9 status to ensure the identity and the eligibility to work in US? What if they haven't carried their status documents along with them? Who would verify, and how would it be done? It's 6:30 p.m. The DR team reaches the alternate site and begins recovery process. As mentioned earlier, some of the individuals met with an accident and some of them refused to relocate. The DR team members who did reach the location have to work non-stop for 48 hours. Question: are there any special overtime provisions for disaster situations? These teams would be over at the warm site for at least 3 to 5 days, so they would not be able to return home after 24 hours. Question: are there any special provisions for per diem pay which would be applicable during the disaster situation? It's 8:30 am on August 25th, and the detailed damage assessment reveals that the computer room structure is damaged and further operation from this site may not be feasible. The damage assessment reveals that it would take 6 to 8 weeks at a minimum. So, for the teams who would be operating from the alternate side, the questions or the issues that arise are: how are the pay-related aspects going to be handled? Maybe some of the employees have a direct deposit account, but some of them don't. What about the time cards? What if the supervisor is not located with the team? Who signs the time cards? And who monitors the extra hours that they're putting in? What is the procedure? I stopped this simulation HR tutorial, and I would continue it in part 2. Thank you, and please be back.